There's a hearing on Capitol Hill right now looking into where the billions in stimulus money is being spent, even as there had been some rumblings that maybe there was a second stimulus package being talked about. Our chief Washington correspondent John Harwood is at the White House following the money. What have we learned so far this morning, John?
Well, Bill, it's an interesting point in the economic debate. Even as Congress is trying to tackle health care and energy legislation, the second stimulus debate is heating up. And all of a sudden, Republicans believe for the first time in a long while they've got Democrats on the run. Darrell Issa, at this hearing in the House that you mentioned this morning, said he thought that the economic record of the first few months of the administration with rising unemployment showed that the stimulus spending enacted earlier this year was bad for the deficit and bad economics, too.
In fact, I believe that the discredited Keynesian economic theory behind the effort is misguided, and I'm convinced that it won't work. Unfortunately, recent economic data has validated my opposition. The U.S. economy lost 433 net jobs in June, bringing the unemployment rate to 9.5%.
Now, that puts Democrats in a rather ticklish position because they argue, as Governor Ed Rendell of Pennsylvania did on CNBC this morning, that the stimulus has in fact worked, but they admit that the economy may need a booster shot.
Without the stimulus program, every state budget in this country would be in far worse shape. Tons of state workers, county workers, teachers, police would have been laid off. But I think there was too little of basic infrastructure, the projects we can start right away, the shovel-ready, fix-it-first projects. There was about $100 million of that. I think it should have been double or triple of that. And if we do a new stimulus, it can be modest. It can be $200 million of all infrastructure. That's what gets people back to work.
So what's going to happen? I can tell you, Bill, that the officials at the Treasury and the White House are reluctant to seek a second stimulus. They got some encouraging news in a new CBO report out today indicating that the stimulus money has actually been spent somewhat faster than expected, although it was critical of some of the controls and the understanding that states have in how they're supposed to spend that money. So this debate's going to go on for a while, but I do believe that the deficit concerns within the administration and Democrats in Congress for now are going to trump the calls for a second stimulus. Bill?
Are we even talking about the possibility of a second stimulus package because the jobs report Thursday was much greater in terms of the job loss than had been anticipated? There seemed to be a sea change in thought about the economy once that report came out.
Absolutely right. And this has been building for some time. You know, President Obama said a couple of days ago that he thought the unemployment rate was headed over 10%. We don't know how much higher that's going to go. That timing problem has always been a big concern for the administration because when they get to next spring and Democrats in Congress are trying to protect their majorities in those 2010 elections and the unemployment rate tops 10%, people are going to be saying, what are you going to do about it?
Indeed. John, thanks very much.